In the last episode, we flew from Taiwan to French Polynesia and introduced you to the island of Raiatea. After gathering the crew, getting the boat ready, and having some fun on this beautiful island, it eventually was time to go. We fueled up at the Total Fuel Dock in Uturoa, motored out of the Barrier Reef, and set sail for Hawaii, about 2,300 nautical miles north. After a couple of days, we were still feeling a bit under the weather as our bodies adjusted to being at sea, but all was well aboard Santim as we waited for the southeast trade winds to kick in. We're motoring about 5.5 knots. Sometimes it gets up to 6 when the current's favorable for us. So that means the diesel's at about 1900 RPM. We keep an eye on the temperature gauge and make sure it stays about 198 degrees. But we're doing well under motor. It's great having all the power. We've got the inverter and the freezer are all powered with the motor going. And so it's comfortable. Plenty of food. I forgot to mention, Dennis and Michelle are napping. The rest of the crew is napping, that's why I'm talking so quietly. Yeah, we're excited. Hopefully the wind will pick up here sooner rather than later, and we're excited to do some more sailing. Oh, I wanted to show you this. It's like a lychee, kind of. It's a fruit that Michelle picked up in Raiatea. It's kind of like a lychee. If you peel it open, and it's white on the inside. I'll show you. See, so it looks like this. Ooh. And then you can pop that out. Eat it. Hello! Welcome to day 3 check-in on video log. We're sailing yacht Santim on the way to Hawaii from Tahiti. We are currently moving a little over 6 knots. We just raised the mainsail, so we have 2 sails out. Moving pretty good now. Motor's still running, but we're getting ready to hopefully turn that off in the next day. Position is 12 degrees, 14 minutes south, 151 degrees, 2 minutes west. It is 4:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 19th. That's Hawaii and Tahiti time. I'll take you up in the cockpit and show you what's happening. Video log.
You wake up and that's what you think of?
Yeah. Where are we, Skipper?
We are about 140 miles due south of the Caroline Atoll. We're also about 250 miles. How many miles are we
There right now the log says 267.
So we're at least 265 miles outside of Raiatea, north of Raiatea. Raiatea. Just put up the mainsail after Michelle just badgered me to death about it. Finally got it going.
You get a badger this guy, you know? It's like we're on a sailboat, not a motorboat.
But we still have to motor sail because the winds are too light to really sail, but they should fill in tonight. And tomorrow we should be just really sailing. Yeah.
Yeah, after a big day tonight. We replaced the fresh water pump. It was leaking water, like a sieve, but we actually emptied it. Water tanks. surprising. Usually boat projects, the biggest 50 hours, it's usually 4 hours.
We're going to take off the fuel pump, the fuel filter, the primary filter, get that out of the way. Just that we need to get that expansion chamber out of the way.
Thinking we could fix it, but then the expansion chamber was so kerfuffled up. Well, one of our great premiers, Chambers, said, fuddle duddle. Actually, he said something worse, but people asked, what was that you said? He said, fuddle duddle. So far, so good. Chicken and rice tonight? Chicken, awesome. Chicken, rice, and what's chicken and artichokes? That's right, artichokes. Chicken and artichoke sauce with rice.
That's sort of like what's that French word for that chicken with the artichokes? Yeah, what else?
Cream and
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Alright,
Some kind of chicken fricassee.
okay. Our task is to unload the beaver so I can get at the water maker filters and get all that put back together so we can start making more water.
Well, yeah, we have to replace that water, right?
Right.
And then take showers because we stink.
It's 70 gallons we got to replace.
And make more coffee.
Right.
Definitely.
I didn't record a video log on day 4 or day 5, but things were going well, under sail most of the time, adjusting to life on board, eating well, and enjoying an AeroPress coffee in the morning. The three of us were well into our night watch rotation by this time. We did a 3 hours on, 6 hours off routine starting at 6 p.m. around sunset and going through to 9 a.m. the next morning. We also incorporated who cooked dinner and who cleaned the dishes into the rotation. This system worked really well for us. During the day, the weather was so sunny and the sailing so pleasant that with the exception of some naps, all three of us were usually awake and hanging out in the cockpit. In addition to keeping the boat moving forward and on course, we spent time looking at incoming weather data and emailing and in-reach messaging our loved ones back home via satellite. I was also reading a lot and having fun with Dennis's sextant, having just read Celestial Navigation in a Nutshell by Hewitt Sclereth. Using what I had learned, I managed to calculate our latitude to within 16 miles of what the GPS said, but I still need to work on my longitude deriving skills. Here you can see Grace happily steering Santine. Grace is a hydrovane self-steering system and she could keep the boat on course for hours on end without ever getting tired or hungry. Using the large red wind vane, some clever gearing, and an auxiliary rudder below the waterline, Grace uses the power of the wind to keep the boat on the same point of sail, meaning the same orientation to the wind. This type of system offers many advantages over electronic autopilots, primary among them being zero power consumption and the reliability. A wind vane self-steering system is especially handy when sailing in the trade winds, when the wind direction can stay constant for hours or even days at a time. I spent many night watches staring over the stern at the Southern Cross above the horizon as Grace swayed gently back and forth, keeping us headed north. If you're curious, you can find out a lot more about these systems at hydrovane.com.
And then last night I went on watch at 3, and a half an hour before on Dennis's watch, the autopilot had given out in the middle of a squall. So I got to hand steer for a few minutes in a squall while Dennis troubleshot the autopilot. It turned out just to be a bad fuse. So he changed the fuse, and Ed the autopilot was steering again. And then we got through the squall within a few minutes, and everything was good. So here we are. It's the 22nd of May. I believe it's Sunday. And I'm having some water and a peach yogurt, kind of as a breakfast / brunch, beginning of my day. All is good aboard Santine. Peace.
Next time, we finally reach the equator, our approximate halfway point to Hawaii. We break out the bubbly and take part in a traditional crossing the line ceremony, paying respects to Neptune and Poseidon. Please thumbs up this video, leave a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes as we make our way to Alaska aboard Santine.